everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is Dakota Crow, the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Muskegon Lakeshore. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. It's great to be here.
Talking really about the Boys and Girls Club in general, its overall sort of goal, theme. Most people think of you guys as someplace cool where kids can go after school, maybe get a little help with their homework and play a little basketball maybe, but you're really about a lot more than that.
It's so much deeper than I think. That's a lot of folks, just, oh, well, you're that after school program that I send my kids to, or yeah, my cousin goes there. That's usually the general census. But when parents start to look into it, you really get this deep dive into, the character and like the leadership and those skills that we develop, which we really think, makes a whole child. And whenever we think about, our outcomes and our goals, there's three things we always focus on. And the academics are so important. Back whenever I was in school, it's one of those things like, that sense of feeling whenever you didn't have your homework done, you showed up to class and you were, anxious and anxiety ridden. And it's like, so what we do, we make sure we work with all of our kids, get their homework done. And we've seen such a big transition in just how kids perform in school just because they're ready, they're prepared. And also working with reading scores. We all know, we've seen the stats, federal prisons get built on, third grade reading levels. That's how the feds develop their, how many prisons they're going to build, how much space they'll need. Because in the third grade, you go from learning to read, and let's say, fifth grade, you see a math equation. Susie has 2 apples, Kevin has 5 apples. How many total apples do you have? If you can't read, you can't do that math problem, so you immediately fall behind. So what we get the chance to do is really work with those kids after school. We've got 4.5 hours, with these kids usually after school. So there's a lot of time for fun, a lot of time for impact. So in academic success, that's kind of how we have a direct impact. The one that I enjoy the most is the good character side of things. There's programs like targeted programs. We have Passport to Manhood, for instance. It's a male mentoring program. Smart Girls, it's also the same thing, female mentoring program. And they're very targeted programs where we bring in, speakers from around the community or, potential mentors. And we just make that interaction with them and really give those kids time, because a lot of times our kids just want to be listened to and heard. And that it's amazing how sometimes that's all it takes, just an ear to listen to. And that's one of the things that we call in our 5 key elements of impact, is that safe and supportive relationships. And I can't stress the safe and supportive relationships enough, because it's the same staff member every day that kid's coming to. That kid's running through the door at 3:30. Where's Miss Emily? Where's Mr. TJ at? Those are the things in the relationships you build, because some of these kids, this is their home. What's cool about our partnership with the schools and across the nation, not just in Muskegon, but the schools get the kids about 7:30 in the morning. They release the kids about 3:30. The majority of crimes happen, youth crimes, from 3 until 7:30 of an evening. Proven statistic nationwide. So with us being open, from 3 until 7:30, we've really targeted that time frame. So now we've got 100 kids in the program. That's 100 kids that aren't on the street.
And you really do target the kids who need you most. And your main message today is that Boys and Girls Club is about you're much more than a babysitting service.
Yeah.
You mentioned the academic success and good character as being 2 of your main goals, healthy habits being the 3rd. If all parents that had a child could just work with those 3 things, we wouldn't need organizations like yours.
Right. The initial goal would be to work ourselves out of business. Our board member, one of my mentors, is the prosecuting attorney in Muskegon, and that's the running joke, is I can't wait to work you out of a job.
So, and we don't want you to be completely out of a job, because there's always going to be kids in need. Thank you so much for joining us. We could talk forever. Thanks for doing such a great job you do for all the kids in Muskegon. If you'd like more information about any of those programs, about getting involved in the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Muskegon, you can head to bgclubmuskegon.com. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Dakota Crow, the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Muskegon Lakeshore.